Welcome guys to the unit 3 of problem solving with Excel. We are going to continue on the series of our problems, and in this unit we'll be looking at the Excel functions of SUMIF, COUNTIF, COUNTA, SUMIFS and COUNTIFs. Okay, so we have a sample data set of employees with their departments, their status, whether they are working full-time, part-time, contractual, the number of experience, benefits, and the salaries and job rating. What we are asked to do is find out the total salary of employees who are working on a full-time basis. Okay, so let's start. Since it is a total salary, we already know that we are talking about some kind of a sum, and since we have a condition attached to it, so let's make use of the SUMIF function. Okay, so SUMIF. Now, what is the range? On the first range is not the sum range, but it is the criteria range. Okay, so the range, criteria range, the criteria, and then the sum range. Okay, so first thing is the status. Okay, so we are going to take the full status. And what is our criteria? The criteria is these have to be full time, so we provide the full time. So within this criteria range, Excel is going to look at full-time employees and then sum based on the sum range. Okay, so here is our sum range, and there you go. So we have about 24,257,883. We'll do a verification a little in a short while. Okay, so let me just clear the filter and let's get on with the COUNTIF. So the next problem is find out the total number of people who are working on a contractual basis. So we are looking at a total number of people, but it's actually a count of people who are on a contract basis. So let's make use of the COUNTIF. Okay, COUNTIF. Okay, and if you see here, there are only two options. So one is the criteria range and then the criteria. Okay, so this is fairly simple. We are going to use the criteria range. And what is the criteria? Contract basis. So right, so 198. All right, and we'll be doing the validation in a bit. The last problem is what is the total number of people receiving any kind of benefit in this organization. So it really right now it doesn't matter whether what kind of benefit a person is receiving, as long as he's receiving a benefit we have to count that person. And for this one we can make use of another function which is the count A. Okay, so count A, and this is our range. Okay, unfortunately this is the Excel limitation. As long as there are some blanks, control down will not select everything, so we'll have to manually do that. Okay, so we are selecting the full range and we have 494. So now let's do a validation. Okay, so the first one was total salary of employees working on full-time basis. So here let's select a full-time. Okay, and let's do a sum. We are just doing a validation. So we have 24,257,883. That sounds about right for us. Right, now number of contracted resources. So let's look at that. And let's see how many we have. 198. So that is correct. All right, now the number of resources receiving any kind of benefit. Right, so we look at the benefits column. Okay, and we filter out the blanks. So what we are saying is as long as one person is receiving any kind of benefit, let's count them. Let's do that. We have 494, and that sounds also correct. So the SUMIF, COUNTIF and the COUNTA. Now let's look at the SUMIF and COUNTIF functions with multiple criteria options. So that is called SUMIFS and COUNTIFs. Okay, we have the same sample data set that we have, and what we are expected to find is the total salary of employees working full time and working in a training department. Okay, so it sounds like an AND function and then basically adding up those things. So let's make use of, and since there are multiple criteria, working full-time and training department, we are looking at the SUMIFs. Okay, so SUMIFs. Now we have to provide the sum range here first. Okay, so let's look at, okay, I'm just going to, all right, let me just clear out this filter. I forgot it from the last time. So SUMIFs, my sum range starts here. Great. Now the criteria range. So what is my criteria range? I'm first looking at working full time. So the status, and the criteria is full time. I have another condition as well. That's why it is a multiple criteria thing. So let's look at what is the training department. So let's come here, select the department as the range, and then let's provide the criteria of training. Okay, so we have about 686 466. Okay, we are going to do the validation in a bit. Let's look at the how to find the total number of people working on contract basis having more experience of more than 10 years. Okay, so again we are counting the number of people who are on contractual basis and having experience of greater than 10. So we are going to do that here. So COUNTIFs, COUNTIFs, what is the criteria range? So it starts here, that's my full, and on a contract basis, so the criteria is contract. Now my second criteria is experience of more than 10 years. So the number of years, so that's the range. And over here when we are providing the criteria for this, we'll have to provide it in double quotes, so greater than 10. Okay, 91. So let's do a validation of whether we got the correct answers or not. Okay, so first one is total salary full time. Okay, so we are selecting full time and in the training department. So let's go here, training, and let's check whether the full salary is 686,466, which matches here. We are okay. Number of contracted resources. Okay, so let me clear out this one. Status, I'll select the contractual employees, and over here the numbers filter greater than, is greater than 10, right? Okay, so let's count. If I count here, for example, my data set has 91 rows, and that matches to our thing. Great. So I'll see you in the next unit. Thank you so much, and in case you have any clarifications, do let me know. Thank you so much.